cork off. A bourbon steward. It takes me a minute to get some words sometimes. Oh, that's puke. Ugh. Ripping his clothes and gnashing his teeth. Corn whiskey. I still haven't found my first Blanton's. And away we go. It is Bourbcast night, and here we are. We were here last night. Just a short one. We did a little gin and tonic on Gin and Tonic Day, so we had to have a little bit of fun with that, and got to explore a couple of gins. Had some mixing. If you've never tried gin with the Crown Royal Blackberry, it's actually pretty good. It did not suck. All right, we're going to be doing Woodford Reserve tonight. I have got a lot of Woodford here. We're not going to drink any of this. We're not going to touch it. I have some curiosity about all of it. A lot of it that's here. But we're not going to touch it tonight. We're just going to touch on it. How's that? No drinky. We talky. Some of the news that's out right now is kind of interesting. Maker's Mark is making a big deal today about something new that they've just released. It is evidently being talked about today. I don't know if it's hitting shelves today, but it might be in certain areas. They've got a brand new, now you know Maker's Mark is a wheated bourbon. All right, it takes out the rye and puts in wheat. Generally, that mash bill is 70% corn, 16% soft red winter wheat, and 14% malted barley. 70% corn, 16% soft red winter wheat, 14% malted barley. Well, they've got this new thing called Star Hill Farm Whiskey, the first ever American wheat whiskey from Maker's Mark Distillery, and the first non-bourbon product that Maker's has released. Star Hill Farm Whiskey aims to capture as much flavor from grain to glass by honoring the flavor and processes of nature. The new whiskey, the non-bourbon whiskey, the wheated whiskey basically, is going to be 70% soft red winter wheat, 30% malted barley, and that's where your extra flavorings are going to come from. That's going to be your nutty flavors, your fruity flavors. That's going to be your complexity. That malted barley is what that does. So what you're losing the sweetness from the corn, you're gaining from the malted barley, because that's quite a change. So 30% malted barley, 70% soft red winter wheat. It's actually a mixture of two mash bills. The second mash bill is a 100% malted soft red winter wheat. Malted being they've started to express it. It started to grow. So that's what malting means, is it starts to sprout. So two different mash bills there. That's a lot of wheat. So the 30%, it might really nicely offset that 30% malted barley note. I'm looking forward to trying it. Maker's Mark has really been... Hey, Nathan's watching. Hey, Nathan. Maker's Mark has really started to make its mark. No, sorry. Maker's Mark has started to do some new things. They've got the aged, that cellar aged bourbon. That's something they haven't done before. They were asked for a long time. Can you do a high age statement bourbon? And they finally did, and people went nuts over it. I still have never seen one on the shelves. I may never see this new Star Hill whiskey, which is, Star Hill's the name of the distillery, and now they've got this wheat whiskey, 70% wheat, 30% malted barley, and 100% red winter wheat on the second mash bill, smooshed together, and that's going to be their new whiskey. So, and it's going to be a little higher proof. The new Maker's Mark is going to be 114.7 proof. That's 57.35% ABV, alcohol by volume. So that's kind of making some big news today. Maker's Mark making a lot of news today. So let's get into the Woodford Reserve. Woodford Reserve, just to quickly tell a story, was my go-to bourbon. I don't remember when I first tried it. I remember the first bourbon after I got out of my own little self-imposed prohibition. It had been 25 years since I had any whiskey, because I'd gotten sick on it at the Indianapolis 500. And I hadn't touched it. I was a beer drinker. I was a wine drinker. finally, I want to say 2017, 2016 maybe, I started getting into the whiskeys again. I had an old bottle of Jim Beam that I'd had for over 20 years, and I thought, oh, all right, we're going to try that. And I didn't hate it. Finally, and for 25 years it took me, I didn't hate whiskey. It was only 80 proof, but it was a way to get started. I don't know when Woodford Reserve came into my life. Somebody told me about it, let me have a sip of it, and I thought, wow, that's pretty good. And for years, Woodford Reserve was my go-to. I'd go to a party, and it would be, do you have any Woodford? You know, it's one of those things like, if you're used to fast food, you don't want to eat good food. You just want to eat fast food because that's what you're used to, and you know it's the same every single time. So that's kind of what I did with the Woodford Reserve, and I'd go to screenings of films, and they'd have Woodford for me because they knew who they were screening for. So Woodford was just the thing, and I've always liked it. It had just been a little while since I had it. I bought this bottle brand new just last week, and it turns out I've got a bottle over there, along with a bunch of other stuff. So I just started to excavate all the Woodford Reserve that I've got, and it's like, okay, well, let's see. We've got the double oaked, and by the way, we reviewed the double oaked back on Bourbcast number 78. That would have been in January of 2022. Boy, time flies. Hard to believe that it's been that long since I reviewed the double oaked, and I've still never done this one. So the double oaked I've reviewed. This one is the straight wheat whiskey from Woodford Reserve. I have not tried this yet. It's never been opened. I don't know what I'm waiting for. We're not going to do it tonight. Maybe we'll do a Woodford Reserve series coming up, because this one is just a 350, or I'm sorry, 375. That's a half a fifth of the Woodford Reserve straight rye. I do like this one. I'm a fan. And then we've got this one, which is the Woodford Reserve Brandy Cask Finish. This is from 2019. It's 90.4 proof. I've never opened this. I've never tried it. And then let me see. We've got the Masters Collection. I've got a buddy of mine that has been begging me to open these, and I don't know why I haven't. I just haven't. This is the Woodford Reserve Masters Collection. This is the Brandy Cask Finish. This is up there in proof. This is, I guess, not too bad. 90.4, so the same as everything else. So that's that. And then there's this one, which is, they're dusty. This one is the Select American Oak, the Master Collection. And then this one is the batch proof. Now this one's up there a little bit more. This is 125.8 proof. So this is a little bit more stout as far as drinky pooing. So maybe at some point we'll do, like I say, a Masters or a Woodford Reserve series, just to go through them all. And maybe I'll pick up the ones I don't have. I want to say that they've got a single malt too now. So I don't know. Seems like everybody's got a single malt these days. Jason Miller, Jordan, how are you guys? Good day. Good day, Jordan. It's good to have you. So we're doing Woodford Reserve. Woodford Reserve, distilled and bottled at the Old Oscar Pepper Distillery. And later it was called the LeBreau and Graham Distillery. Elijah Pepper started operations in 1780 and started distilling in 1812. Distillery they use today was built after James Pepper sold it to LeBreau and Graham, who had it until Prohibition. 1838, Coachella Mike, how are you, sir? 1838, that distillery stands as one of the oldest distilleries in Kentucky. It's listed on the National Register of Historic Places and designated as a National Historic Landmark. I was looking at some photos, or looking for some photos that I took when I was at Woodford Reserve, but I can't remember what year I first went, whether it was 2018 or 2019. The grounds are gorgeous. If you've never been to Woodford Reserve in, I believe it's Woodford County, just gorgeous green rolling hills, as far as the eye can see. Beautiful horse fences. There's all sorts of beautiful horses that roam. Woodford Reserve, they have their own horses that they have, like, I can't think what they're called, the race horses. They've got those. As a matter of fact, Woodford Reserve is the official bourbon of the Kentucky Derby, even though their official drink is with Old Forester, the mint julep. but they are the official bourbon of the Kentucky Derby, and they do, they do a lot of business with the Kentucky Derby. As a matter of fact, they've got a bottle out that is specific to the Kentucky Derby. It's 1 liter, so it's a little bit bigger, and it's got a special label on it and it's commemorative. They do a new label every year. It's for the Kentucky Derby, and as a matter of fact, let's see that one. Where's my information? There it is. So this one is $37.99 in the state of Ohio. If you want the Derby bottle, which again is 1 liter and has a different label, that's $44.99. This one is 90.4 proof. It's aged between 6 and 7 years, although it carries no age statement on the bottle. The average age, according to rumor, is 7 years on this bottle. Coachella Valley, Mike. It's probably another gorgeous day in California, where it's another non-so-gorgeous day here. It's cloudy, and I think we get up to 48 today, so thank you for that. Let's see. So through the years, the distillery has been home to several different whiskeys, including Early Times, which we tried yesterday, which is now upstairs because I'm sipping on it. I gotta tell the truth. I was gonna show it off, but I can't because I'm drinking it. That was the most recent whiskey to be produced on the site prior to Woodford Reserve. Production stopped and the distillery was abandoned at 1973. Eventually repurchased by Brown-Forman in 1993, and Woodford Reserve Distillers Select was launched in 96 as a new breed of premium whiskey. It's made from a mixture of copper pot still spirits produced at the company's Woodford Reserve Distillery and column still spirits from the Brown-Forman Distillery in Shively, Kentucky. Let's see. Every one is a unique batch and bottle number. The master distiller was Chris Morris and an assistant master distiller Elizabeth McCall. Chris he started his career in bourbon in 1976. Elizabeth got made assistant master distiller in 2018. And then in 2023, Chris moved on and Elizabeth is now the master distiller at Woodford Reserve, which could explain why they're branching out and doing some new things with all these different things. All the stuff. They say that Woodford Reserve, if you really have a discerning palate, I do not have this discerning of a palate, they say it has 200 detectable flavor notes, from bold grain and wood to sweet aromatic spice and fruit and floral notes. I don't know. If somebody is able to pick out 22 different distinct notes, okay, or 200, that's more palate than I'll ever have. 72% corn, 18% rye. It's a little high rye. I'd call that a high rye. 10% malted barley. It's known for its triple distillation, and it is the flagship expression from Woodford Reserve. Again, if you've not been there, even the gift shop is gorgeous. It's beautiful. The whole place, the whole trip down is lovely, and just a neat trip. If you're going to do a distillery tour, Woodford Reserve has got to be on it. Want to say it's on it's closer to Lexington and Frankfort than it is to Louisville, as I recall. Because I remember the first time I went there, it was because I went to Frankfurt. No, it's because I went to Lexington. It's still like 4 hours away, but for me, it's 4 hours away. All right. This is set long enough. Let's see what we can do with it. Okay, so if you're looking for tradition, if you're looking for those traditional notes, this has got it. Beautiful, complex nose of oak and cinnamon and honey. Oh, a little raisin. which I would have never have detected until I gave it like its actual tasting. I forgot a gorgeous ice sphere. We'll worry about that later. Can't believe it. I mean, I've got the little thingy thing. Some black pepper. Little brown sugar. There's mint on this. It's unmistakable. There's mint on the nose here. Oh, for sure. It's like I just opened my grandmother's purse. You know, that it always smelled like old tissues and mint. God. You know, could I sit here and pick out 200 notes? Maybe. The oak is perfect on this. Just a nice, this is a great nose. This may be one of the best noses of the year. And I'm trying not to be biased because it's been a while since I've had this. Again, the first time we did Woodford, that was, what did I say? That was number 78. Tonight we're doing 260. This is number 260. Can you believe that? Number 200. I've had 260 different bourbons. And I've had over almost 200, coming up on 200 since I even had the double oaked. Whew. By 16 Bourbcasts. Good night. Oh, and we do have something special we have to do tonight too. So be prepared for that. All right. Nice oak, slow bloom. Didn't give me much on the tongue. There wasn't much burn there, but boy, I'm feeling it go down. I can't whistle, so that's as good as you're gonna get. I can whistle that way. I can whistle beautifully that way, but the loud whistles like this, that ain't happening. Okay, so strangely enough, and I probably won't get it again, but I got a hint of bubble gum on that. Last week when we did the early times, I was talking about how I got a butter taste off of it and how it's one of my favorite notes. Bubble gum is not one of my favorite notes. Nonetheless, this is a gorgeous pour. I won't probably get that note again unless I'm looking for it. All right. Somebody just popped up. It went away as soon as it got there, but and I did get the bubblegum note again. That's just weird. I've never gotten that before on this pour at all. Fresh crack, so you don't know what it's going to do. I had a 375 milliliter of this a month or so ago, month and a half ago, and didn't get that note then. And this is a fresh bottle. I just bought it. So, I don't know. Again, since every batch is numbered and every bottle is numbered, you would think that maybe it could be a little bit different between different bottles. I don't know, hard to say. Okay. It's got a nice fruit note to it. Can't identify what it is, but that higher amount of malted barley is giving it some beautiful nuttiness, a little hazelnut on it. That's just really a very nice pour, a very, very satisfying pour. If you're not a rye person, you might not like it. That rye spice is definitely standing out a little bit. It's an 18% rye, so that's a little on the high side. And some people don't like that. Some people want a lower rye or even a wheated, which is fine. Maker's got that brand new one. No corn in it, but there's also no rye in it. No lie, no rye. You got to take the opportunities when they come. Again, it's all about joy. All right, so let's add some water to it. I got to bust through this. Ooh, that was a lot of water. I got to bust through this because of the tribute. I got to do the tribute. Yeah, there it is. All right. Now, so my friend Mike swore on Woodford Reserve with a little water. And I always said, if you put water in my Woodford Reserve, you will not walk out of my house. You will be taken out on a stretcher. And he said, okay, man, okay. And he just, he was one of those guys that would live and let live, fine. But then the next time you drink Woodford Reserve, you come back and, it opens up really nice with a little bit of water. Yeah. And the door will open up nice with you on a stretcher. So, now that I've had a little bit more experience with whiskey and adding water to it, let's put it to the test. Hasn't changed a whole lot, but it did open it up a little bit. The bloom on the tongue came back. Actually, the bloom on the tongue now is more than it was when it was a fresh crack. I'm still feeling a little bit of that alcohol burn, whereas before I didn't. And I can tell you that the flavors. There's something on my glass. Ew. Ew. What is that? Ew. Ew. I don't know what that is. I don't like it. I'm getting talked to. Matt's with us. Hey, Matt. Welcome. Glad you're here. Hopefully they were spared from the flooding. I saw Buffalo Trace got it pretty good. They did. Frankfurt is underwater. The whole town's underwater. All of it. And it's significant. And it's going to take a lot of cleanup. Having been through it myself, the 100-year flood, there's a piece of me that wants to take a week and go down and help, but the floodwaters, they are receding, but they haven't receded. And there's really nothing you can do until those floodwaters are receded. Because then they're going to have to replace wood and paneling and all this stuff, because if you don't, you could try to clean it, but if you don't replace it, you're looking at black mold and just, it's going to be a mess. It's going to be a multi-million-dollar mess. I know Buffalo Trace can afford it, but why should they have to? It's just this thing. It's just a thing, and it's sad. And Kentucky has been through this before, not in the Frankfurt area, but I want to say it was in the southeast and the eastern side of the state. I don't know if Woodford Reserve is affected by the floods. I haven't seen anything, and they're not next to that river like Frankfurt is. So I haven't seen anything from Woodford Reserve that they've had any issues. Frankfurt, unfortunately, is just underwater, and it's heartbreaking, and I feel for those people. Again, I wouldn't ask anybody to pray for a distillery, but there are families being affected by not being able to go to work. Not just at the distillery, but everywhere. There's one of my favorite hamburgers in the whole country is in Frankfurt at a place called Bourbon on Main. And their bar had George T. Stagg right there on it. It's like, yes, gimme. They're underwater. The whole town's underwater. It's a sad thing. So again, if you're the praying side, do it for the people. You always wonder, something like this happens, where will God's miracles show up? Where will that bright spot be? Will it be somebody rescuing somebody else? Will it be somebody helping somebody else? Will it be mysterious money that come out of wherever to help pay for the relief? There's a really great it's a disaster ministry called 8 Days of Hope. If you're looking for somebody to donate to, they do disaster response all over the nation. I've donated to 8 Days of Hope myself, not recently, but I will. I need to because I want to help the people of Frankfurt. I got helped when we had our flood here. It was a 100-year flood. Our house flooded terribly, not as bad as other people, thankfully, but it flooded, and we had help. We had a lot of help. I didn't have to hardly lift a finger to clean my house because the corporation came in that anyway, they came in and cleaned it. It was really, really great. These people in Frankfurt may not have that, which is a shame, which is sad. So, okay, that's all. That's all I'm going to say about it. All right, let's get it back into this with a little water. Funny, you still get that bubblegum note. It's just stupid. It's just today. I don't ever get this before. I'm not getting any of the mint that I got on the nose. I am still getting the brown sugar and the honey. Really nice cinnamon notes. That oak is perfect. Everything is just so well blended. And if indeed the level of malted barley and the fact that there's two different mixes from two different distilleries coming together on this, for the price of this bottle under $40 to give me the complexity that it offers, it's no wonder I was in love with it when I first tried it and didn't want to drink anything else for so long. Now I'm kind of invested in trying new things, but this could easily go in my top 10 pours of 2025. It's just a very, very tasty bottle. Woodford Reserve is just one of those that I will probably never, ever find anything wrong with it. Aside from that odd bubblegum note that may be just a fluke. It's going to be here today and it'll never come back, hopefully. All right, so I didn't bring the ice out, so I'm not even going to fart around with putting it on ice. Larry's watching and Bill's watching. Welcome. Glad you're here. Thank you for watching. Okay, so tomorrow's April 11th. And those of you who have been watching the show for, well, the time that we've been on, you know that every April 11th, and this is kind of how we started, April 11th in 2020, April 11th would have been my dad's 89th birthday. He died in 2013 at the age of 78. He was convinced he was 79, and he was an accountant, so he should have been able to do the math. He was wrong. And he's up there going, yeah, fine. But tomorrow would have been his 89th birthday. And every year, his favorite restaurant was Red Lobster. And his favorite alcoholic drink was Bud Light. So every year for his birthday, we go to Red Lobster. And I don't order what he ordered because it was horrible. I did it last year. It's what it did to my gut. He loved the Admiral's Feast at Red Lobster, which is all fried. Clam strips, fish, shrimp, whatever, cheap, and all fried. And he loved it. And he got that every single time, along with a bowl of clam chowder, and of course the biscuits and whatever else. So last night, the family went to Red Lobster, and we celebrated his birthday. And it's funny because I got cheesecake, and my dad didn't particularly love cheesecake, but what's it going to do, argue with me? So that was last night, and tonight we're doing his favorite bourbon, or at least the bourbon that he drank. And we do this every year, and we tip one to Dad, whether I want to or not. And surprisingly, every year this gets a little bit more drinkable. Yeah. The only thing I can tell you is it's probably because of the other 259 whiskeys I've tried since we started this Bourbcast. My palate has widened. I find things that are particularly offensive less offensive. Although There are some that are still quite offensive. My daughter's boyfriend is not a whiskey drinker, but he was curious about the Southern Comfort because the Southern Comfort is the one that I threw across the lawn and called it puke. It's like bubblegum. It's got a bubblegum flavor to it. Oh, that's puke. Ugh. When we were doing introductory bourbons, that was in the first 100 Bourbcast as well. I want to say this was like number 40 something. And there was Seagram 7, and there was Four Roses, and there was all the introductory size, you know, the 80 proofers, right? Jim Beam and Evan Williams and all that. And Southern Comfort happened to be one of them, and it was awful. And I called it puke, and I threw it across the yard. Well, my daughter's boyfriend said he was willing to try it because he likes, you know, fruitier drinks. They kind of enjoy gas station wine. So I poured him a shot of the Southern Comfort, and he didn't hate it. It took him, you know, he's not a drinker, so it took him a little while to drink it. I didn't mix it with anything. And then later on, I thought, you know what, I'm going to try it again. Still puke. Not as pukey as it was when I tried it that night, because my palate has expanded, but it's still pretty nasty. I would guess that the only one that's nastier than Southern Comfort is the Jim Beam Red Stag. Just not. Okay, I gotta just do this. I just gotta do it. All right. No. After Woodford Reserve going to this, Echo Spring. Ugh. Yeah. I might have just retched a little bit. I didn't mean to. Sorry you had to see that. I just did it again. Oh, I don't like this. Not tonight. Oh. Gonna finish it. Happy birthday, Dad. I haven't eaten yet. Will I be able to keep it down? Or in? Okay, all right, okay. Compared to the Woodford Reserve, it's like drinking out of somebody's armpit. Oh, jeez. Oh, my. Okay. Since I don't have a toothbrush handy, get back into civilization here, shall we? Oh, man. Oh. Okay. All right. Did I not bring it down? There's one I'm going to do next week. I must not have brought it down. Well, stink. Okay, well, I'll pick one from what I've got here. So, we didn't obviously go to the distillery. We've got a Bourbcast that's coming up at a distillery. We obviously we weren't able to get that pulled off for this week, which is fine because we had the tribute with my dad anyway. So, but maybe next week we'll do it. We're going to do it in the month of April. At least that's the promise I was given. So, but we'll see. So if we don't do the distillery next Thursday, we're going to come back. I'm committed. We're going to do Still Austin. I found a bottle of Still Austin. I don't have it here in front of me. I can't but that's what we're going to do next week. Still Austin. I don't know anything about it other than it's a Texas whiskey. If you've ever had the Texas, the TX whiskey, I'm hoping it's better than that. Oh, ho, ho. Gah. I would love to do that for a Bourbcast just to tear it apart, but I don't want to have to buy it. That's a meh. You thought that Echo Spring was bad? That Texas whiskey is nasty. It's bad. But that's just me. All right, that's what we're going to do next week, is the Still Austin, I assume from Austin, Texas. Hence the Austin thing. Unless it's Stone Cold Steve Austin, I don't know. I have to look it up. I don't know anything about it, other than it's what people are talking about, and I found a bottle, so let's go, right? Let's hit it. All right, gang. Thank you for being here. By golly, you're here loyally every week. You don't have to be. You can be anywhere else you want to be. But you stick it out, and you come here and you check out what we're doing, and I will tell you that if you have not had the Woodford Reserve, phew, what are you waiting for? It's not expensive. It's plentiful everywhere. It's like Bullet. You can't not find it on a shelf. And it's really good. The complexity there, it's still a go-to, even though I don't go to it very much anymore because I got so much else. But yeah, check this out, Woodford Reserve. Check out the collection of different things that is out there from Woodford Reserve, because this is just one of many. And if this and the rye and the double oaked and the ones that I've tried, by the way, real quick, I know I'm starting to wrap up, but there's one. It was the Master's Collection, like this one, only it was like a chocolate malt. That was a fail. That was horrible. Oh my gosh. Now, maybe you got it, maybe you tried it, maybe you had it, maybe you liked it. No. No, I went to a bar because they told me they had it. They messaged me and they said, hey, we've got the Master's Collection and it's this chocolate malt or whatever the heck. You ought to come up and drink it. It was terrible. No. It was bad. It was bad. So I'm glad they have another one out right now that's a chocolate of some sort. I don't know what it is. I don't want to try it. I'm scared of it. I'm scared. Ugh, terrible. It was awful. It was awful. Anyway, okay, so again, Still Austin or a distillery tour next week right here on Beautiful Bourbon. Thank you so much.